is the challenge, enforcement. I have told people talking about reforms. I said, what reform are you talking about? If anything at all, you see, in criminology, it has been established that every wrongful act that is rewarded, that is not punished, will be repeated. That is what is happening in our country. I have just told you that in England, either by yourself or through your supporters, you try to rig election, you'll be banned for life for participating in politics by virtue of the 1883 Act. The previous 1882 was expulsion for 5 years. In England, you cannot hear a politician say the kind of thing they say here. They respect judges there. In America, a Supreme Court invalidated consul election because the law provided that the ballot paper must be folded in a particular manner to avoid fraud. But in South Carolina, the EMB some years ago folded it in the other way around. Supreme Court annulled that election in South Carolina. But in Nigeria, we now talk about substantial compliance. We accommodate some level of corruption in our system. As a matter of fact, before the 2023 election, for instance, I was telling the whole world that by virtue of Section 134, subsection 2 of the 2022 Act, the National Assembly clearly stated that every directive, instruction by INEC with respect to the conduct of the election that is outside the act will not invalidate election, which will be excluded, forgetting the fact that INEC, by virtue of paragraph 15 of the Constitution, had the power to make regulations. And so INEC guidelines, they are part of the law. Then you now have an act that stated clearly that a directive instruction for INEC should not be obeyed. What do you expect to happen? And most of it that went to court, court refused to look at them. Remember, when we introduced Carida in 2011 and 2015, what was the argument? Go to the case of Peter Side and Wiki. The court said, oh, Carida was a beautiful instrument, but that they were more interested in the analog, ordinary, what they call a manual register, and that we should have that Carida written in law. What happened? They forgot the fact that even before that time, Section 160 of the Constitution, God bless Jonathan, President Jonathan effected what he called the first alteration to the effect that the power, we're talking about the Constitution, not the Act now, before 2020 election, that whereas all other bodies established under Section 153, executive bodies, whereas they can act under the direction of the president, but with respect to the Independent National Electoral Commission, it powers to make rules, otherwise regulate its own procedure, shall not be subject to the direction of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That provision was there. Elections that were taken to the court with respect to carry that. What happened? They could look the other way around. Now, the recent argument, absolutely nonsensical, to the fact that beavers require another law. Which law are you talking about? By virtue of Section 60 of the 2022 Act, the presiding officer was expected after the close of the poll to transmit the results in the manner prescribed by the Independent National Electoral Commission. The question you now ask, did INEC prescribe a manner to transfer or transmit the result? The answer is yes. You go to paragraph 38 of INEC regulation and guideline. As it affects section 64, subsection 5, 4, and 5, which enjoy border collation officer to transmit. Somebody is telling you today that, oh, there was no law for transmission. They are already there. But by virtue of section 134, section 135 it was deliberate that this should not be part of the whole thing. This is where we are.
Right.
And so my call, my charge is that judiciary, the society, you have a bigger role to play. Lawyers. And I've made it clear before that if a country is capable of dying, Nigeria will die because of the failure of my constituency to stand tall and mighty in defense of the rule of law and democracy. Because without the rule of law, electoral contest will be nothing but a crude deployment of force, as we have seen in many places, where we now hear about gun democracy is now what we have in our country. And so, judiciary must stand up. That is the only pathway to get this right.
Now, speaking of